Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love His Man 3.
Mister, you're fired. Guess who I hired to represent me? You gotta be legally blind. Legally.
This week we're
representing.
We're representing.
You've gotta be.
This week we are recapping episodes 9 and 10 of the Korean gay dating show His Man 3.
Next week's episode will be late in the week because we will be at KCON this weekend. So Patreon reaction will come out Wednesday next week, and then the recap will come out Thursday.
Episode 9 starts off with Youngjun waking up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, going and getting a little love. What are these called? Love fortunes. And it tells him that lies will be exposed immediately and to abstain from lying. I have not been. This is like a new thing they added this season.
The fortunes, you're not gagging.
I'm not gagging, but
I'm not gagging.
One is. I'm not gagging, but this one is. I don't know how they. I don't know if every single one in that thing said the exact same thing, because they were like, "He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it." Then as soon as he left, they swapped all of it out.
Yeah,
they dumped all of it and put normal ones in.
Yeah. But it was a good gag. It was a good way to start the ep because we are still fresh with tension from last week and the massive blow up between Myungjun and Youngjun that was not really solved.
It feels like it was like 3 months ago. I don't know why. We watched 9 on Thursday night when it dropped.
Yes.
And then 10 we watched
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And then yes. The thing to remember is that for us, it's been weeks of this show, right? We're now 5 weeks into this television program
that we're watching. Yeah.
And for them, it is day 5 of people they met. So just like, I think it's good to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. You know, when people seem to make decisions that hastily, or you wish they had been made earlier. I don't know if they really have an earlier. I think this is pretty early.
This is pretty
early.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's 5 days, Diva.
The mission cards come out for the episode, and we have 3 cards left on the table.
Yes.
And
Jason is there like first. He's like, I'm getting a card today. I'm going on a date today. It's gonna happen.
I'm picking Sungmin.
Because I'm picking Sungmin. So he literally was just sitting there waiting
for the cards.
Little PD name to run in.
Yeah. But the trick is that the mission today is that whoever picks a card, they have to choose someone that they have not previously been on a date with. Now, I don't think technically the first day dates when they all get there, those counted.
No, I think it starts with the roommate dates.
Right. So,
but he already picked Sungmin as his bonus date. I think that counts.
That did officially count as a date.
Yes. So,
but there's really only been 2 dates so far on the show.
The roommate, yeah.
The roommate date,
and then the
arrows and hearts date.
Yeah.
And then Jason had his own date, but he didn't have a date that day, so it's not even like he got a bonus
date.
The
rain last week really brought everyone down, I think.
Yes. The rain last week being yesterday. He immediately is like, oh, well, I don't want to pick a card.
I don't want a card.
Because I don't want to pick anybody.
Because he's not interested
in anybody else. The other 2 who are waiting for cards happen to be Youngjun and Hanmin. And then Hui comes down as well. And they're all just staring. So Hanmin,
Jason did officially pick a card, but then put it right back.
He put it right back.
So then they were all just watching. Hui was like, I'm clearly not first. Why haven't y'all picked the card yet? And they were like, read the instructions, Diva.
Diva doll. So he does end up picking. So it's Youngjun, Hanmin, Hui. Hui goes upstairs first, asks Seungjin if he wants to go with him. And the other thing is they can't say no.
Yeah.
So if you're asked, you can't say no on the date. Youngjun asks Jae-sung, and Hanmin asks Sungmin. Yes. So those are the 3 couples going on dates, which leaves Myungjun and Minsun to just hang out at home.
Relax.
Before they go, we do get a concert experience of Seungjin performing Ditto by New Jeans.
Because this was literally a year ago, and Hui was doing the video, and like Sungmin was like, wow, it's like a Reels. Wow.
No, Sungmin was shooting it.
No, Hui was shooting it.
No. Sungmin was doing the like zoom in, zoom out.
Okay. Who's right? Divas.
Because we're not going to move on until we
No,
know.
I'm not. Go ahead, watch.
They're wearing the same thing. It doesn't even matter.
I fucking hate you. Well, that was one dance.
That was
that happened.
one day.
But there was a
And I said we filmed it.
But then there was a pre-show. There was an opening act.
There was an opening act. Youngjoon. Okay, so Youngjoon and Jaesung leave first for their date because they're gonna go to an amusement park. We'll get to it in a second. And as soon as Youngjoon is out of the house,
Youngjoon is like, "Hey guys, do you guys like my apron?"
Ba 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 da 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 da. Start spreading the news. Youngjoon left today.
We had to watch it over and over again. This little apron dance.
He is. I don't know, guys. I could fix him. I could make him smart. I really think I could.
Really educate him.
I could really educate him.
1 + 1 will be 2.
I could really sit down with one of those like SAT prep books and just be
and
like,
go one at a time.
Let's
All right,
go, girl.
let's go.
Yeah. And there's something to that like tutor experience. You know what I mean? AU. Let's do Youngjoon and Jaesung's date first. So they go to an amusement park. This is
It's a nice date.
it's a very very small local micro-local theme park.
Not even just
Amusement
like,
park.
not even like this is like Great Wolf Lodge. Like not like, no. Even more local.
This feels like a permanent fair.
Yes,
Is
a
what this
permanent
feels
county
like.
fair.
Yes.
but not the size of the county. It's
No. Well, you've never been to a
I've
county
never been to
fair.
a county fair.
This is about how big it is.
Oh, really? Okay.
The like
I'm thinking
ride
of State
area.
Fair, where it's
You're
like
thinking of
huge.
State Fair, which is bigger. Yeah. It's very nice. They do like banter well because obviously Youngjoon is a yapper.
Yeah.
And Jaesung, I think, just like has been isolating himself to some degree from everybody because he feels so left out, and also like
He doesn't have anyone to really talk to because he's already set on who he's interested in, so he doesn't feel like he needs to really talk to anyone.
they go on the rainbow swings. They have a good time.
They go on the Viking.
They have a good time. They do a little skinship moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a real date. This is what's weird
These
about
3
this
dates
season.
are like not really dates.
Well, one of them we don't know. From the look of where things could be going, we don't know.
Oh my god, you're right.
This season is interesting because everyone kind of
Found who they
found. There's only really one love triangle,
Yeah.
as opposed to last season where there were 2. And more people, I think, just liked the same people. But this season, everybody was like, the one person I like is this. I do not like anyone else on the show. I will not try to advance my relationship with anyone else on the show while I am here. This is the one person I'm going after.
Yeah, and I can't even say like they probably watched it. They probably watched the last season happen. Maybe they did a little bit before
Maybe
they started.
did a little bit.
Because I wonder if like the Jun Sung-ho of it all,
Just going after one person.
going after
solely.
one person for them, like people were like, oh, okay, that could be a way to just be true to my feelings and not feel like I have to play anything, you know?
Yeah. It's very interesting because there's only one person on the show who really is kind of figuring out between 2 people that they like.
Yeah.
And they are receiving the most blowback on the internet currently. So
Yeah. It's like, imagine if last year, if everyone like just started hating Min Sung.
I think there's a lot of feelings involved.
And our friend had to say something,
but we-
remember?
Our friend.
Our friend had to tweet something,
Dabit?
remember?
Oh, yes.
It was like, please don't say,
Please don't come at me for my
please
opinions.
don't come at me and for my opinions about these people in my streams. Stop watching me.
Yeah.
Also, why do you have such strong...
Well, did you see that the show had to...
Yes, and the show said something.
About, like, if we see anything, we're going to, like, sue you.
Guys, it is a show.
It's a show that takes place over the course of a week for gay... I just, like... There is a level that I guess I'm generally not really in the thick of it with straight dating shows, especially, like we don't watch, like...
Yeah, we don't watch... We're not Batch Nation.
No, not Batch Nation. We're not...
What are
the other
Love
ones
Islands. But all of them...
What's the other one on Netflix?
Love is Blind.
Love is Blind.
But they have, like,
those.
a bit. They have, like, a gag. So
They
it's
have a
like,
gag.
can love overcome whatever obstacle
You
we
watched
throw them?
Love Island.
I did watch one season of Love
But
Island.
would people, like... I mean, I guess that was, like, 2020, so I feel like
But it was just like Singles
Would people
Inferno, where
send tweets and be like, this person's a monster?
but in Love Island you can always mix
Has
up
therapy speak
people.
broken everybody's brain?
Is that really what you want to talk about?
Let's talk about it.
I mean, I think we've already said it. Like, people are, and I do see some people that are like, I'm not trying to overdiagnose, but blah, 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 or like, armchair diagnose.
Right.
But they're like, but this is how I feel when I watch this, whatever. And I'm like, okay.
I think it's totally
great.
fair to be like, watch it. I hate even having this conversation really because it's so stupid to like critique people watching a show. It would have to suck to be someone who was just kind of just figuring out how to be on the show and whatever and like try to be a regular person and then be characterized as like a monster in a way where the show is not even it's not even like the show is editing him in a way,
look at this monster,
for it to be like,
look at him take up all of these people's like emotions. We're not gonna get to Sungmin yet, but the thing with him is that we are just watching someone like get so much attention in such a small amount of time, such like large amounts of attention in such a small amount of time. So it's just like, how can someone like live on that pressure? You know?
And he is, I think he's explained himself very well as to why there are like pros and cons to both people. It's not like him and Hui are set up for success and like will be perfect. And it's not like him and Jaesung are like a lock. There are aspects to both of them that are making him like kind of hem and haw.
Go back and forth.
And that's why he's having to make a decision.
That's going to happen anyway. You're just seeing it happen before the end.
So back to Youngjoon and Jaesung. This is not really a date. They're just like being friends.
And Jaesung, this is the first time Jaesung is able to really talk about what he's going through with anyone.
Yes. And I think Youngjoon is very good at like approaching it. And being like, so what's going on? So I do think like that is nice, but really what's nice is that Jaesung turns the tables and is like, we have to talk about this Youngjoon situation. And I will say Youngjoon is very like open. He's not trying to hide anything really.
I think he realized how he looked. He looked
I think he realized that as soon as, while it was happening, I think he realized he was like this is not going well.
This is not going well because I'm like, I'm driving myself crazy.
Right. And so he like, I think Jaesung gives him some really good advice about being like, you have to sort this out with him because the rest of us are walking on eggshells around both of you and it's really uncomfortable for the whole house. And of course, neither of them wants that for everybody else. Not even to the degree of like, well, they're trying to like, end up with someone just for the sake of like, we all have to live together. It's like shitty to have a social thing where you're like, be the cause of the problem in the house.
Do you think there's a feeling of like they're all going to stay close or be friends after?
That's a great question.
Because I don't get that vibe like I felt in season 2. Even a little bit of season 1.
Yes. It definitely feels like, and we don't know what's going to happen in the next few episodes. Definitely feels like Seungjin and Hui are like friends. And it feels like Hanmin and Jaesung are like have gotten closer, so they like could talk
be
now.
Friends,
Obviously, Jaesung doesn't live in Seoul, so like that's harder for him to be able to connect with everybody. That's
pretty much
Sungmin hides in his room a lot.
He does.
Because I think my guess is that he's overwhelmed, and so that's why he like does that. And then Minsun is puppy dogging Myungyoon, pretty much.
I could see Minsun being the one to also kind of hang out with multiple people.
Yes. I don't know if I think Youngjun is really good about like being really friendly and like making everybody feel warm and comfortable and blah blah blah. But I don't know if it's just like his
I'm
personality
hosting. Yeah.
and like it's not like, oh, and now we're friends, or it's just like, I want to make this a pleasant experience for all of us. That I don't know yet.
I don't know either.
I can't tell.
Me neither.
But I also don't know how the show ends.
Right.
So if it's a messiata floppiata,
I don't know.
then who maybe nobody talks to each other after the show. So that's their date. It's very nice. I would go on an amusement park date. This is like probably my ideal type of date.
Mm-hmm.
Is because, you get to goof around, be like funny, have like do the thing where you can like hold hands or whatever.
Yes, yeah, because you're going through rides. You can like let loose and be. Because we watched a vlog about a couple going on a date at a theme park, right, with their friends. Who was it? There was an idol who went with his boyfriend. I think they went to Latte World. I think so. Something. I think I remember watching a vlog like that, which I think is really nice. Like the chemistry really comes out. I think there are circumstances where you.
Are you just talking about our vlog of when we went to Lotte World?
Yeah.
Idols. Okay, so next day is Hanmin and Sungmin. They go to an art installation.
So at first we were like, "Oh wow, Hanmin loves to go." Okay, maybe this can hit on off.
Yeah, because I was ready to jump ship. I was ready to jump ship from Hui Sungmin.
Because I was kind of like, oh, I'm ready for him to like, maybe he's like, you know what? The triangle's too messy. Let me just find someone else.
Right.
No.
They get there and Hanmin is like, I usually would never do anything like this. And then he kept being like, I was so bored the whole time I was there. Like, to the point of like...
I knew that he wanted to go, so I wanted to be nice and go. But like, boy. I kind of just like walk around, take the pictures, and then I don't really know what to look at. And so I just go. He was like, it's not really a place to stay at a date. You like, it's one of the stops. Like, you'll start there, maybe take pictures, and then go somewhere else. And Sungmin was fully like, oh, yes, and this exhibit. Oh, and then look at the pictures.
The
what do you think?
Woodworking, yeah.
He was like, what do you think they're trying to convey in these pictures? And Hanmin was like, I don't know, it just kind of looks like the farm I grew up in.
Amazing.
I love it.
It is very funny that the two people who are like the most toned, the most like workout guy energy. Well, I don't know how Myungyoon is because we've seen his body.
Yes.
Now he is shirtless on the
He's got body tea.
But he's not like he's like a face. He's like handsome.
Yeah.
Not like chiseled.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that the two people that we know that definitely have like they're jacked.
Our fitness people
are like not interested in arts and culture in any way whatsoever.
No.
And that's fine. And it takes all kinds. Yeah. It takes all kinds to populate the world.
You think you just fell out of coconut tree?
You exist in the context. So I just think it's funny because I married someone who has basically the exact same interests I do because I was not willing to do anything by myself.
Yeah. And that's called codependency.
There's really not much to talk about with this date either, to be quite honest. They take boyfriend pictures. That's very cute. Hanmin is very attentive, which is nice. And he like offers to do
He's a good
things.
date.
He's a good dater.
Yeah.
But there's no real chemistry. There's no sparks flying. Hanmin does reveal, though, during their conversation at the cafe afterward, because they go to a museum cafe, that he's at this point a little pressured by Youngjoon's insistence that they like are kind of a thing at this point.
They're a done deal.
Because Hanmin then says he originally wanted to take Jae-sung out on a date.
Because they were getting close and wanted to kind of get to know him.
But Youngjoon had already asked Jae-sung, so he had asked Sungmin.
Yeah.
I don't see Hanmin and Jae-sung working out. Well, I
see them working out. Actually,
I see them physically working
I
out.
actually fantasize about them working out.
Okay, girl. Keep it in your pants, okay? Keep it in your skirt.
My skirt.
Put the pants over the skirt.
Pants over the skirt. Because I also was like, oh, maybe there is chemistry between Jae-sung and Hanmin that we haven't explored yet. But it does feel like Jae-sung, he's very timid when it comes to dating.
It's weird because the person we have both felt like he has the most chemistry with is Hui.
Because they're both active. Like, we're seeing them both, like, pursue someone.
Yes.
And no one is pursuing you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, oh, but you guys, when you were both alone at home, there was chemistry. So it's...
There's not anymore.
No,
that ship is...
They've gone on opposite sides of the house.
Back at the house, speaking of the house, Myungyoon and Minsun are just hanging out. Myungyoon has brought a recipe book with him to the show because there's a bunch of recipes he wanted to try out. And Minsun is like, but the recipes are like basics, like how to make spaghetti. How, like, that is the equivalent of like what his recipe book
appears, we find out later, it appears that Minsun is comfortable in the kitchen.
In the kitchen,
He basically cooks tonight's dinner.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But they have like a nice time together. They spend some time in the pool playing around. They like shoot each other with water guns.
Mm-hmm. They're like
this
goofy.
Is the most chemistry I felt with them.
I know, totally.
Was the day they were at home.
Yes.
And I wondered then, maybe Myungyoon feels more comfortable in like a domestic
I think so.
setting than out doing like an official date.
Yes, I think so too. Because I know he talks about shooting all the time. One interest really, but I think he's a homebody. I think he just likes being at home and spend time with like the person that he's into.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I mean, he says it later that when he's just into one person, he really devotes all of his time with that one person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt the chemistry for sure.
Yeah. Minsun likes taking care of people, and Myungyoon says that he's always been in the relationships in the past. He's been the one to take care of people. Also, does he just mean Youngjoon? Because Youngjoon was his first relationship? Was there anything between?
Yeah, he may have had relationships in between because this was like, I think they dated in like 2021.
Yeah. So he said that he's always been the one to take care of people, so it was very nice for Minsun
for someone to take care of
him. And they both acknowledge that Minsun likes him more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was glad to hear like Minsun say it too.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I think it's me.
Yeah.
But also Myungyoon does say like, I am a person that takes a while for me to grow feelings for someone.
Yeah. I don't know if I knew that about myself, I don't know if I would then go on a week-long dating show.
Right. Because the week is fast.
A week is very fast.
But he may just be like, I'm just picking someone at the end who I want to like get to know more. Yeah. He's not really thinking like this is someone that I'm, because people have been very specific. Like I am here for a long term. People on
the show who are like, I am looking for a life partner, practically,
basically.
Yeah. So we get to episode 10. It's Hui and Seungjin's date. They go to a pottery making class.
Classic
dating Korean dating show date,
honey.
This is very nice. They are both very into it. They're both artsy boys.
They are.
So they are like really trying their best. There's not a ton of conversation happening because they're kind of really focused. But you can tell that it's not uncomfortable silence either because they talk so much on the show generally that it's not like they haven't spoken before this point.
But I will say, I thought it was very interesting because usually if there is a date where they're just doing the activity and there's really not much happening, they don't show it. But because they showed it, it wasn't until I saw the teaser for next episode I was like, oh, that's why they showed it. They are adding proof points that Seungjin feels very comfortable with Hui.
They keep showing them hanging out at home.
Yeah. Which like they just like literally will just lay down and like.
Yes. And the show, I think in both previous seasons has been good about showing like there's friendly dynamics on the show as well.
Yes.
But it has never been to this extent that it feels like we'll just go to them having a conversation.
It's always been about like you go. It's like the smokers. Like the smokers will talk about what's going on.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Like last year, Hyungjun and Youngie had like a friendship, and then like they would make fun of like Jun Sung when they came back from like having the like wood smell on them or whatever.
Yeah, and like Min Song and Sonu.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The girls.
Yep. So it was very relaxing. It's very carefree. They both say it's like, or I think Hui says that it's very healing, which is nice. It's definitely, to my estimation, at the point of watching the show, felt like a friendship date, which was nice. We love to see platonic love. And then at the cafe afterward, they talk about Seungjin's feelings for Jason.
And basically, like, have you told him that you have had these feelings?
Right.
And he's like, he probably doesn't know just because I've been...
He hasn't said anything.
Keeping it, yeah.
Right. And Hui's like, I think that would be a really great idea if you just told him and really go for it.
They are writing their own stories.
Yes.
Honey.
Because in Hui's mind,
if
Seungjin goes for it and distracts Jason enough,
I can swoop in.
Yeah.
For Sungmin.
And like lock down Sungmin.
I know. Big brother ass. Like strategy.
Yeah. Back at the house, everybody started coming back home. Jason like reveals that to Hanmin, I think, isn't it? He reveals that he
he has you called it a Tennessee Williams Blanche Dubois monologue in the terrace where she's just like over explaining what her thoughts are.
Jason hates Wee, but also literally he says he hates him, but he also says he
understands him.
He understands why he's doing what he's doing, and he just feels like bitter about the situation that they currently find themselves in. But this is a different Jason than yesterday, where Jason was like, maybe I should just like give up or like whatever. Like now he's like, I'm all in. I'm fighting for my man.
Yeah. Jolene.
They have like a conversation about active dates versus passive dates, and the dumb boys all want to do active dates, and the not dumb boys and the smart boys want to do
museums.
Yeah, want to go to a gallery, want to see some art, want to take in a piece of cinema. Songmin and Hui are like making dinner together. Jason gets annoyed and goes upstairs. He's like, my head hurts, blah, 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 blah.
Yes, because Hui and Songmin are cooking, and Songmin literally has a fan on Hui. Right here.
Yes.
And Jason walks in and like...
This is after the Hanmin conversation.
Yeah. And he's like, I feel sick. Gross.
Yeah. They eat the food. They have pork and fish cakes. I only bring this up because Sungmin's real task was to make the fish
cake soup.
And Jason, who's sitting across from him.
Literally. Oh my God, these fish cakes are so good.
I've never had better fish cakes.
And like, honestly, I don't even need to eat what garbage that is on this table. Like, I'm just eating fish cakes. So much protein, packed with protein, and the way they're cooked is cooked perfectly.
And Hui like is like, oh, blah blah blah, like Minsun helped so much, and Jason is like, sounds like Minsun made the pork then. So I don't know what the fuck you were doing.
So it sounds like so dinner tonight was Minsun and Sungmin. Okay, got it.
Great.
Yeah, great fish cakes. It's not, if you're watching this, it's like, okay, nothing's happening. But because these are gay men, you're like, oh, he's basically berating them.
Yeah. Yep.
And even everyone was like, yeah, dinner was tense. No one was talking. Hanmin was like, no one was talking.
Yeah.
And Jason said, like, I think it's because Hui and I are weird.
Yes. Well, Hui got like visibly. I will say Hui is not...
Miss Ma'am, that
Hui thinks, I think that he's good at hiding his emotions, sweetheart.
No, we gotta maybe do some clubs.
Yeah, maybe take a class. Just look at yourself in the mirror more often.
Because it's Yeah.
Because when you don't like something, his jaw, like he's like,
yeah.
poor boy.
Adam, I noticed that there's people.
only 6
There's people missing at dinner.
Yeah. So when they got home from dinner, or when they got home from their dates, I should say, Myung-gyun worked up the courage to ask Young-jun to go talk with him. And then they just walk out of the house. And the next time we see them, they're at a full cafe.
Yeah.
So this is not, I don't think the show is going to consider this an official date.
No, but what I told Adam what I think happened is Myung-kyun asked production if he could talk privately to Young-jun. And production was like, yes, let's wait till everyone's back.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a cruise. You can go to the cafe.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
I don't even know if he had the wherewithal to ask them for this.
Oh, you think they were just walking and then production was like, guys, stop, get in the car.
Yeah. That's genuinely what I feel happened.
Yeah.
Because I think it's interesting that they didn't set up the cars so we could see. Like, they didn't have it rigged with the cameras inside the cars or anything like that. So I think it was just like spur of the moment.
They started talking outside
send them
or whatever.
to a cafe because they can't have this conversation here.
Yeah.
/ it's going to be good, whatever
it's going to be good. So let's sure we get these
And I do think it was good, but I think it was good in the terms of I think it was good for them.
It was good for them.
I don't know if it was like necessarily the greatest television I've ever seen in my
No,
life.
it was clearly like, okay, we blew up at each other and this is us trying to apologize to one another.
Yes. Okay. Here's the tea.
Here's the tea.
Myung-gyun starts and is like, now that I've had time to process, because as we know, he's a person who needs time to process to sort out what he wants to say. He says that he thought they were dating when they were together. Young-jun clearly did not think they were dating. Young-jun didn't want to block him because he was like, I didn't have a bad experience with you. I didn't think I had to block you. But I just thought not responding, although he didn't not respond, he just responded very infrequently. He thought that was signal enough to be like, we're not a thing anymore. But in Myung-gyun's eyes, he was like, oh, he's just like talking to me less. I mean, he probably should have gotten the hint, but I think he's someone you have to spell it out for.
Yeah.
Myung-gyun never truly expressed his feelings, and that's why Young-jun gave up. That we could have we deduced. We figured that was how it worked. Especially because multiple times now Myung-gyun on the show has said that he's not good with like
cheesy stuff.
It's
how he keeps
but
saying
I think that really just means like saying I love you, so, like
saying I like you,
being sweet in that way.
Yeah.
And it could be, well, let's say it. Let's say her name. Bring her out. Internalized homophobia. Woo! It could be that.
It could be that because this was his first relationship too.
Young-jun was his first relationship. That sucked to hear.
That like really broke my heart.
And then they were both really busy at the time. That was another added layer to the conflict of like they didn't really have a time or a chance to like see each other. Young-jun says that he thought when he saw Myung-gyun on the show that Myung-gyun was only there to advance his career.
To be an actor.
Because he was like, I didn't think you were looking for a relationship. Which I thought was wild. I know this happens often,
right,
that like people will do shows so that they can like gain a following in order to like,
or like, yeah,
hawk product or whatever they're doing.
I mean, Exchange 2, Wonbin was like, I did this because I needed the money to pass my like university, basically.
I feel like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm naive. I don't know how
I think that was
smart it would be to be like, I'm an actor, so I'm gonna announce to the world that I'm gay. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get I think you're gonna get a ton of work in Korea because of that. Do you know what I mean?
Who knows? We've never had an actor before, so
yeah, it's true.
I do think that felt. I mean, I think that these were all still just like reactions of him not expecting Myung-gyun to come back to his life in that way, obviously, but to walk in the show. I do get a little bit of like he's there's still a little bit of defense because I think he wanted to hear those things from Young-gun when they were together.
Yeah.
He wanted that like affirmation that like, yes, we are together. This
Yeah.
is dating. But he never did. So I think he was just like, I never thought he would be the type to want to date anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it fully breaks down to just communication styles and not being clear about like what they want
happened.
or
Yeah.
what they were to each other even. And I think like when we watched it, I mean, this is so goofy, but like I like cried in the middle of it because I thought it was like, first of all, last week on our recap, we were saying like Myung-gun has to talk and Young-jun has to listen. And they both do it, and they're both really mature about the way it's handled.
They both
here.
do it. They literally. There were even moments where Young-jun like wanted to retort back, but he was like, "No,
He stopped himself.
Let me let you finish."
Yeah, just like I feel like it was like the ideal way to like close
a chapter,
close a
Close the book,
conflict,
yeah.
and like really move past it. Like, of course, there's still going to be hurt feelings, and it's not just going to immediately because you had a conversation, it's over.
Right.
But it felt like
it's done.
it had
The
all been
feelings are done.
discussed.
Yeah.
It all felt like it was all out there.
Yeah.
And that they had talked about it and acknowledged like one another's hurt feelings and both of them apologize. And I just was like so impressed with like that they both were able to do that. Mm-hmm. Especially like I think if I was Young-jun and I had like blown up the night before, I would be so hesitant to even say yes to go out and do this again because like I would be nervous that I would get pushed again to the frustration level of last night. But like I think they both like put aside their own inner like defense mechanism so that they could like actually have this conversation, and it was like genuinely fruitful. And of course, obviously it's not going anywhere. I do think Myung-gun lies and says that he is not attracted to him anymore.
Yes, because he asks, "Are you still interested in me?" And he says, "Not anymore." And Young-jun says, "I could tell that, you know, his eyes were shaking, obviously. Like, he could tell that he was still like deep in thought trying to answer that question."
Yeah.
So I do think he was trying to cover himself.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like in love with him, but I think there's just, it's hard to let go.
Yeah.
It's like exchange. It's just hard to let go of the history and the feelings that you went through.
Yep. And they both like acknowledge, like Myung-gun like acknowledges that like the like anonymous question was wrong. Young-jun brings up that like he thought Myung-gun was going to call him the first night, and then when he didn't, he was like,
oh, then he doesn't like,
he's not interested or like whatever. And Myung-gun says he was too proud to call Young-jun the first night because of the way like Young-jun had pretended he didn't know him.
Right.
And I think it's just like it was every bad thing that could have happened was what happened, and that's why we got to the point we got to.
But they like talked about each of those things, to kind of clear the
and
air
they were gone
for
for like
each
2 hours.
Yeah. They cleared the air for each like instance they felt uncomfortable.
Yeah, and they finally discuss like in what way Myung-gun thought he was like Young-jun was putting on an act. And Young-jun explains like, well, really, if anything, I was putting on an act when I was with you
because I was trying to be on my good behavior.
You.
Yeah.
Which that makes so much sense.
Yes.
Because I think everyone does that naturally when there's someone that they're like interested in. You try to be your best self. You're not going to fart in front of them. You know what I mean?
But you could tell that Myung-gun kind of has like a learning moment in this conversation about that.
Yeah.
Because he like very genuinely says, "I'm sorry."
Yeah. They both do. I mean, it's so... Young-jun's apology is more eloquent.
Yeah.
Myung-gun is just an "I'm sorry," but there's so much. For me, it felt like that. "I'm sorry" held so much meaning behind
for him. Totally.
I just like it. It was so wonderful to see like adults acting like adults. I mean, like I don't even want to say that to sound shitty, but just like
The fact that they were able
it's so rare to watch real people actually like solve issues in this way and not just turn into like bad blood between them, like actually find a way to put this in the past and like kind of move forward. And like they do, like Myungyoon says like, yeah, we're just gonna be besties now, which is very funny that's like the way they translated
especially when they came back and to like Hanmin and Minsun were like, oh yeah, we've buried it, so, you know, we can be besties now, blah blah blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't know, it just was really lovely for me to watch.
Isn't it crazy that they can act very mature and can figure things out, and you know, and they're the ones that actually went through the things.
Hui walks by, sees that they're out on the balcony. Well, first he tries to listen in on them on the first floor from upstairs.
Yes, and Jason is like outwardly, basically like hitting on Sungmin.
Mm-hmm.
That's making like Sungmin like.
Sungmin is very easily swayed by just any little thing. And Jason is so much better about doing those small things that like have a big impact than Hui, who is just going for the jugular, being like, I really like you. And like slay.
Yeah.
But there needs to be finesse to it.
Jason has a little bit more finesse because he's like, I really want to be the first person to say good morning to you. You know, like
he tells him he wants to be the first person to tell him happy birthday, which is after the show is over.
After the show, which is
implies
that
we've gotten each other's numbers and blah blah blah.
Yes, that like that's the finesse. That's the 30 plus. You know what I mean? That's
I mean, it would wind me up,
girl.
Too, girl.
I would be like,
ooh, I felt that in my. And then there's this really funny confessional where Hui is like, okay, so here's my new strategy.
It's called the seduction method.
It's called the seduction strategy.
I am going to seduce.
You heard of the Socratic seminar? This is the seduction strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my attention and now put it on Jason. And get
seduce him.
So, which also tells me that Hui is also aware that they have chemistry.
Yes. He knows that it's palpable.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only way this would work if you have chemistry.
It's not, and it's clearly that like, it is very clear that Sungmin is being swayed because obviously Hui also knows how hot it is. And like, and because his heart has fluttered for Jason.
Right. So he's like, I'm gonna seduce Jason, and then right at the last minute, I'm gonna go for Sungmin because Jason will be swayed by me, so he'll go after me, leading Sungmin to choose me, and I'll choose Sungmin, and then we'll be happy together. And I was like,
diva.
I've never seen anyone on this show define a strategy of how to do the show.
Literally.
So that's, you know,
and
interesting.
He and Sungjin upstairs are fully just like, I'm never eating a croffle ever again in my life.
So funny. It's so funny because it's so real. It is the most like, this is the shit you say to your friend when you're like, this fucking guy, like
this, like a minor inconvenience.
There's another guy that likes him, blah blah blah. Like it's just.
I didn't get a text for him immediately. I want to burn.
I want to burn his house down.
Burn his house down.
Right. It's so funny. It's like so fucking real. I think that's why like I like Wee so much as like a person on the show is because like he is the most easy to understand because he's so. Maybe to a fault.
Yeah.
He's very comfortable sharing every single thought and feeling he has. Yeah. So then they get a mission to write letters to each other. They get to write one letter to the person that they're interested in. After they write the letter, they put it in one of two mailboxes, and the mailboxes are not defined.
Not labeled, so you don't
previously in previous seasons, it was just each person had a mailbox, and at the end, they would go to the mailbox and see if they had any letters or none. Now there's two mailboxes, and we don't know what the fuck it means.
We don't know what it means.
What did you think it meant at first? Did I tell you what it ends up meaning? I did not think that was it.
Yes, it's not what that was. I thought that it was like one mailbox, you will get that immediately the next day. The other one you'll get after. Like it'll be like split time. So one will be tomorrow, one will be right before the final decision or something like that.
I thought that would be good too. I thought it was going to be one would be delivered and one would just be like incinerated. Like, I don't know. Like they're just...
They show a flaming bow and arrow and just...
Yeah, set it on fire. So
Hui is crying writing his tome. Like a full block, like literally a full block.
They write all the letters, they deliver the letters.
Sungjin is like comforting him as he's writing. They're out smoking again, and he's crying thinking about the letter too.
Yeah. Min-sun comes over, consoles him. Hui is very emotional.
He's not handling, feeling like he's been left, which so I just thought, well, it's because he is trying to go on a date with Jae-sung. Like Songmin's just trying to go on a date with Jae-sung because he's never had a proper date with him. So he's like putting his attention.
I mean,
to
he
him.
did.
Well, he did. Yeah, that's true. But so I just always thought like, okay, well, he's just like spending his focus today on Jae-sung because he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
It wasn't until when they have their conversation at the end of the episode where I was like, oh, there's more that I don't think we're not seeing, that he's really feeling that like, oh, it is intentional.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, I didn't notice that. So at first it was like, it feels like it's just a lot of emotions for feeling like, for someone that I feel like he knows that Songmin likes him back.
Yeah.
But I guess it was not as clear.
So he finally is able to get Hui alone, or Hui is able to get Songmin alone. He pulls him out, and he just flat out asks him, "Are you like?
Am I still number one?
Am I still your PO1?
Yeah,
am I still your one pick?" And Songmin
says, "Like, I don't think so."
Says, "No, I've had like a change of heart."
Yeah,
basically. And then they go into the bedroom and then have a longer discussion about it. And I don't think Hui hears anything he wanted to hear. And Songmin is not like, I totally dislike you. And I do like that in the conversation, Hui says like, there's no such thing as 0 and 100%. Like,
right.
There's always like an area of gray for everything.
I was getting the vibe that Songmin was just trying to say like, it's just, that's why I really want, because he keeps saying like, I really wanted you to hopefully made a connection with someone else.
Yes.
Because I just don't know for certain that you will be the last, the person that I pick.
Right.
Because I am just swayed by someone else.
Yes.
But he doesn't make an effort saying like, it could be anyone's game.
Right.
He says like, I want you to be ready for the chance that it won't be you.
Yeah. Do you think any of this is unreasonable?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think so.
This is why I don't...
There are people vilifying Songmin.
I don't understand the... I don't even know where I would see like...
But see, here's the thing. If Songmin had said it could go either way, I think it's still an option. If he said it's right now 50-50, is that better than saying there's going to be a chance that it won't be you? Do you know what I mean?
The one I saw that I was thinking about is like, I saw someone comment like, it's very frustrating because he's said in confessionals before that he knows he's getting swayed by Jae-sung, so he should have told Hui a while back. I don't know. Yes, the day before he was like, I want to go on a date with Jae-sung to Hui.
Yeah.
So we already knew that. And I also don't know when... I don't know exactly when all of the confessionals happen, at what time and stuff like that.
Yes. I mean, I think it's at the end of every day, but they don't show you.
But again, it's just a day.
But it's just a day.
I understand it's like a week for us.
But it's 5 days.
But it's like, if he thought of it for the first time yesterday, I don't think him the next day being like, yeah, I think it's a no.
Think it's a no.
It does not feel to me like Songmin has been stringing Hui along the whole show without proper cause.
Yeah, because he
said at the end of the Jae-sung date, I think I still
feel more comfortable with Hui.
And I'm more comfortable with Hui.
Yeah.
But I think over time, he's just not doing the things that
Jason is doing.
And so those are the heart-fluttering moments that like make you want to be like, ooh.
Well, with Hui, he is just going for it. I mean, when David said like Hui reminds him of Youngie, it's just like the very direct, like, hey, I like you.
Yes.
I like you. I like you. I like you.
Yes.
And Jason is actually being like, hey, let's go talk. Let's hang out.
And I don't think like I think Hui is still doing a pretty good job of not like overburdening Sungmin.
No.
Like I don't think he's putting a lot of pressure on him.
No, I don't think so either.
But it is just Sungmin seems like a very sensitive soul.
Yes.
And so I think kind of any of that is just like a lot for him to take on. And
especially since he had to like move him, you know, like he's had a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Like show wise.
Yeah.
And it does feel like Jason is doing more in like comforting him, I think.
Well, it's weird because Jason didn't really comfort him while he was like
when
freaking
he was
out
crying.
about the room thing.
That's true.
And Hui did. But Hui, I think it's just that Hui isn't doing those like small little caring things.
Yes. Now he's retreating.
Yeah.
But here's the thing though, because it's a day, Songmin could start the day being 100% with Hui, and at the end of the day being like, actually no, today I was swayed more by Jae-sung, and that is perfectly fine.
Understandable. Yeah.
It's perfectly understandable.
And I do think, again, and we said this earlier, but I think Sungmin has been very good about on the show explaining like, you know, I really feel comfortable with Hui. We have a lot in common, but he's so young and like he's looking for someone who's like long term. And I don't know if someone 22 is looking to be with someone long term. Like I don't want to like put in effort for something if they're just gonna be like, oh, we're gonna like date for a year and then like whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas Jason, yes, they have less in common, but they're at a similar stage.
They're looking for the same things.
Right. And that's huge. I mean,
that's big.
I'll just say, as a 30-year-old, that's huge.
That's huge.
If you're looking for, you're at an age where you're looking for
the same things. It's like, okay, then maybe once in a while I'll go wakeboarding with you.
Right.
But at other times you'll have to go to the library with me.
Right.
That's all fine. Because at the end of the day, you'll be
more important to me to like have a like
that you're actually interested in being a partner.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like the missing key.
I think even if we was like, oh yeah, totally, I think he would still just.
I think he'd still be like, I don't know, I just don't believe it.
Which I mean, that sucks and it's unfair. But being someone in my 30s, I would also look at a 22-year-old and be like, what? There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way, Diva. Listen, we don't know what's going on with the season 2 cast. But last year we were like...
Pick the chemistry.
He didn't pick the chemistry, he picked Hyungjin. They didn't make it. But now they're possibly dating. Who knows? Anyway, I think it's weird to yell at people online about a show that's happened a year ago.
That happened a year ago!
It's so goofy to me.
And the thing about Songmin is that he is so sensitive. And so he is not doing any of this...
Yes,
maliciously or trying to hurt.
Right, last year got a lot of flack because of his fight with Dabit.
Yeah.
Which I think probably has been the most justified kind of flack anyone has gotten on the show so far.
Because like,
even though we understood like why it happened, there was like it was the most like you did not think about this at all before you said it.
Yeah.
He has like a thick skin, so he like Dabit I asked him about it when we were like whatever, and he was like, oh yeah, he took it, he was like thought it was funny or whatever, blah blah, because he knew it'd blow over. But like Sungmin does not feel like the type of person that's going to.
I mean, he looked like he was about to cry every single time Hui walked by when he was with Jason. And the other way around, he was fanning Hui and Jason walked by and he looked like he was about to like pee his pants.
I know.
Like he looked so scared.
I know.
And you think that's villainous? What, guys? Oh my God.
It's so crazy to me.
Just watch a drama. Watch a K-drama. Where it's clear. There are no villains here, sorry. There are no heroes, sorry.
Yeah, no.
It's just people trying to find a match.
It's just people. So... I just always do the thing of like, if all these people were my friends...
Yeah.
I wouldn't yell at any of them. I just try to understand like what was
Yeah,
happening and be
totally.
like, well, Diva, next time.
Yeah.
What we're not going to do.
Exactly. Over drinks, I would be like, girl. Diva.
Sis.
Hui. Calm down. It's not. I mean,
like if Youngjun had left the show and they had never resolved it, I would have like been like, Dabit, I need you to somehow.
I need you to somehow find
translate
Youngjun, and I do
Youngjun,
need you. I will pay you translator rates so that we could sit down with Youngjun to be like,
Mama, Miss Mama girl.
Mama girl.
We will mediate
Boys Love presents His Man 3 mediation.
Yes.
Between Myunghyun and Youngjun.
But we didn't have to. They figured it out.
They did it themselves.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the end, Hui, because he was feeling his feelings, they made an effort to like in one of the times that they were just hanging out, him and Sungjin. Sungjin was like, I think Hui needs to get over the like obsession a little bit because it's a little.
Well, he said that over the date too. That he was like, I think you need to like cool down
on like
Songmin.
On Songmin. And come to terms with the fact that he might not pick
But
you. And
Sungjin
be okay
would
with
also be like, but I think you could also just be like, I love you. That would be fine too.
But I mean, he says it at the end, like in the room when they're just hanging out in Hui's room, that he's like, I think you need to let some of that go and not feel like it's like a curse, because that's what he's acting like right now.
Yeah,
that he like can't even like think about anything else.
He can't even like see anyone else because he's so wrapped up in Songmin.
Yeah, and then the trailer for
the next episode happens. So they show the mission card.
Oh, they show the mission card.
So the two mailboxes are the two dates.
They're two dates.
So there's a group of 5 going on a date, and there's a group of 3 going on a date.
And the group of 3 is Sungjin, Hui, and Songmin. Everyone else is on the
wild.
In the trailer, it looks like Jae-sung is pissed off again. He can't catch a break. He will never.
He's with the two couples.
He's with the two couples. He will never go on a date with Songmin, so he just leaves early.
Allegedly, we don't know.
We don't know. And then over the other date,
Sungjin is like, I think I'm developing feelings for Hui. I would like to see it.
Friends to lovers. Listen.
If we end season 3 and I get 4 separate couples that all leave the show together, whether or not they continue after the show, I don't care. It is about what happens at the end of the show. If 4 of the, I mean, like that's a miracle in casting.
Yeah. That's a jackpot, baby.
That I'm buying a lotto ticket if that happens.
Because then people are going to sign up. They're going to have to do a fall season and a summer season.
They're going to have to do an all-stars, bitch. They got to do versus the world, honey.
Because literally they're going to put up these casting notes and be like, hey, Korean gays, we have 100% success rate from the last season.
His Man versus the Boyfriend. Season 7.
It's like the challenge.
Yeah. It's just like intense dating.
I would like to see it.
Great.
Yeah.
See, now that I mentioned the Boyfriend, our entire comment section
feed is going to be like, so when the fuck are you reacting to the Boyfriend?
I don't like gay dating shows.
Yeah, I'm not really into gays.
I don't like homosexuals.
Okay, I mean, we really can't watch The Boyfriend right now because we have so much going on.
Ironically, we could have been watching it now that we know that
Island is not going to KCON. We can't do it right now. I mean, we can't do it right now at all. But just please, please. We expect we will deliver better stages in the future. Please,
we promise to bring you better stages in the future. I promise.
I am so busy, and it takes a while to do all of these. It's just, Mama. It's just these two people doing all of this.
It's really just RJ, and then I'm just kind of like
main visual.
You know, I'm kind of like
I can't even.
Main dancer.
His Man will be a little late next week because we will be at KCON. You will get the His Man recap here on YouTube on Thursday. So it'll just be a day late.
It'll be a day late.
Yeah.
We promise to bring you better.
We promise to bring you better stages in the future. We promise to bring you The Boyfriend in the future. But we will. I mean, I know it's good.
I've heard good things.
I've heard good things.
I just don't like gay people.